Axforce 90. It has been a while. I am getting through my old content. I actually filmed like a review of this, like a proper review of this, in like my condo with the lights and the mic and everything. But the footage, I don't know where it went. So, and I'm too lazy to re-record. So we're just gonna talk about the Axforce 90. Remember, Leaning sent me this a while back to just take a look at, and we're gonna talk about it. So again, I don't know if this is the Axforce 90 new or whatever. I don't know Leaning's name in this game. It's just this one. It's the blue and orange one. That's all I can tell y'all. Um, Now I did try the Axforce 100 like a year ago, and I found it a little bit too stiff for my liking. I preferred the 100ZZ, which seemed at the time to be like its main competitor. But honestly, after using the Axforce 90, I think the Axforce 90 is more similar to the 100ZZ because of the way their shafts flex. Like this feels like a very controlled whip as well. While the Axforce 100 just felt like very stiff, if that makes sense. So that being said, this is still quite a stiff racket. This is still a high-end racket. I think Loken Yu currently uses this racket. And let's talk about it. So for starters, I don't think this is a viable doubles racket at all. I think it classifies this as a box frame, and you can definitely feel it in the midcourt. It feels a little bit sluggish in just midcourt flat game in general. Not just because not because of the head weight either. Just because I think the aerodynamics are a little bit slower, and like this does hit hard, but I don't see this hitting harder than like for example the 88D or like the 88S third gen even, right? And the repulsion is also quite a bit lacking for me to be comfortable as a doubles racket. So I think the Axforce 90 is going to be squarely a singles racket, right? And so that's already a point off because it's not going to be as versatile as the 100ZZ, which was an amazing singles racket, is an amazing doubles racket, right? Could do everything, still does everything. So that's already a point for me against the book. But where does this shine? So the Axforce 90, like the 100ZZ, has that incredible whip, right? The whip on here feels a little bit more controlled than it does on the 100ZZ. So while you are still getting a bit of power, it is going to be a bit easier to place the shots down the line. I also find that let's call it activation energy for the Axforce 90 is a bit higher than the 100ZZ, meaning this does require more energy from you in order to bend the shaft, in order to unlock that whip. But in return, you're going to get a better whip, you're going to get a harder hitting smash, and you're going to get more accuracy. It's just going to be a little bit more unfriendly, a little bit less user-friendly than the 100ZZ is. In terms of, that's honestly really it. Like I'm trying to think of other things to say, but yeah, I think this is like a 100ZZ, but very, very singles focused. So like remove the repulsion, add more shuttle hold, add more shock absorption, add more stability into the racket, reduce the aerodynamics a bit, and you have effectively turned the 100ZZ from Yonex into the Axforce 90 from Leaning. 6.4 mm shaft, all the standard tech stuff that you would normally expect, and 46 carbon. I think it has, I don't know what this is called, T1100. I don't know what these terms are meaning, but yeah, that's essentially what you're getting. So who would I recommend this racket for? Because honestly, it's fun to play with. It's just like not for me a viable competitive racket. If you had asked me this when I was still playing singles in Korea, I still think I wouldn't use this exclusively because I don't like rackets that are too, I guess, specialized, right? That's been something that I have said in the past, right? The reason why I didn't like the Arcsaber 11 Pro, it was too specialized for shuttle hold, for example, right? Axforce 99 Pro, too specialized for singles, too much shuttle hold as well. This has, again, not too much shuttle hold, but rather it's too boxy of a frame, right? The swing feels a bit slow. I want a racket that's a bit more maneuverable. And like in this day and age, there are head-heavy rackets that are aerodynamic, right? 1000Z, the 100ZZ, the Halbertech series are all very maneuverable rackets. The Nitrix Venom from 100, the Flareon 700. from 100. They're all head heavy and they're all much more maneuverable than the Axforce 90 is. And that's kind of like the preference of rackets that I like. So I think for that reason, like I wouldn't be using the Axforce 90 even if I was still just a singles player. So now that I've switched over more to exclusively doubles, I definitely wouldn't use this racket. If I wanted something like this, I would pick up the 88S Pro or the 88D Pro 3rd gen, because they're both going to hit harder, and they're going to be both more doubles focused. They're both going to have repulsion, and they're also going to have specializations for their given, I guess, roles. For example, the 88S is going to be a little bit shorter, going to be more for the front court, right? And the 88D is going to be more for the back court, right? Axforce 90 is weird. I can see it being used for like a player that wants something like an Arc Saber 11 Pro, but doesn't want as much shuttle hold, but wants to hit much harder, right? Or like I said earlier, if you want the 100 ZZ like whip, but you want it exclusively for singles, I think this is a great choice. But because I am neither of those players, it's a pass for me. Yeah, honestly, the Axforce 100 was much more maneuverable than this was, probably because the shaft was thinner. And let me double check before I say something. Yeah, the shaft was thinner. I think the frame head itself was a bit thinner as well, but I didn't measure it. I'm just trying to recall based off what I remember. So in that aspect, maneuverability wise, the Axforce 100 wins, but in terms of user friendliness, this wins. I still haven't used the Axforce 80, which I know is a bit flexier than both. So maybe the repulsion will be a bit better as well. But yeah, that's for another time. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of casual talk of the Axforce 90. Thanks again for sending this for me to review. If you guys have any comments or questions, let me know in the comments below. Bye.